I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News. My name is Laurie Swan, and I hope you guys are all doing well. If you're in the live chat, we do ask to keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platforms we're utilizing today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, so you know when we go live. So this is unscheduled. I just found this out not 20 minutes ago, and sent a message to Ernie and asked if he was available. Ernie.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my Lord. I can't. I mean, this is just, everything's moving so fast. How long ago was it that we talked about the red heifers?
I would say about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that. Before that, we talked to you guys about, well, you know what, let me just pull it up. Let's go to here. This was what this whole thing started back when we were talking to you guys about Israel Rabbi says that he's holding meetings with the Messiah. Now, I just want to make it perfectly clear, throughout this broadcast, when you hear Ernie and I say Messiah, we're not talking about Yeshua HaMashiach. We're not talking about Jesus Christ. We're talking about the false Messiah. Remember, the Jews are waiting for their Messiah. They killed the original one. They killed the real one. And now they're waiting on the false one to come. So when you see talk about the third temple, when you see talk about the Messiah coming, when you hear all of these things, you need to remember that this goes along with the book of Revelation and the revelation of the Antichrist.
And also, guys, remember when we talk about the J word, we're not talking about the house of Israel.
Right.
In the Old Testament, we're talking about the Ashkenazi ones, the synagogue of Satan as depicted in Scripture. So, just want
Exactly.
to put that on the wraps right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because because of um, the 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 label that was created back after World War II during the Balfour Declaration. There was a label in anti-S that was to be put on people who even try to talk about the J.
we're,
And
we're
we have to,
experiencing that with Mr. West right now,
yep,
who has publicly came out and called them out.
exactly. And so we have to make sure that we make it clear who we're talking about. We're when we refer to them, the Zionists or the Ashkenazi, the Khazarians, we're not referring to the biblical Israelites. We're referring to what is in Book of Revelation 2:9 and 3:9, talking about the synagogue of Satan. So we want to make that perfectly clear. Also want to make clear that when we talk about the Messiah here, we're not talking about Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. We're talking about the Antichrist. And so just to put that perfectly clear, I think we've said it now twice. So, okay. So this started when we were talking about how this Israeli rabbi says he's already holding meetings with the Messiah. This was back, now this says September of 2022, but it originally came out, I believe, the end of last year. Wasn't that like the time frame of it?
I'm not totally sure on that.
Well, I
As far
know
as
it
I can
was.
remember, it's only this year that I've heard about it.
Okay, well, I know it wasn't in September because it was long before that. It was long
Oh
before
yes,
month.
that Ben David gentleman.
Yes,
I recall sending you a video of them walking with him at that time.
right. So
But
that was a while ago.
so I call
So
BS on that.
right, right, right. So let's just do a little bit of okay. So it says we'll go back a little bit and move forward. It says a recent interview on Israeli radio featured prominent rabbis explaining that the Messiah is just about to reveal himself. These two rabbis told Religious Broadcast Radio 2000 that, well, this one rabbi said that the other, and I can't pronounce it, and I'm not even going to try because it's so disrespectful to mispronounce somebody's name. So this rabbi, Yaakov, told Radio 2000 that Rabbi Chaim, who passed away earlier this year, had told him that he was already in direct contact with the Messiah. To understand why religious Jews are taking this seriously, it's important to know that Rabbi Chaim was considered one of the 2 or 3 top rabbis in the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community in Israel. And they said that others of the mystical concealed rabbis have tasked him with informing the public of the Messiah's imminent arrival. So this man was given this job. This was what he was supposed to do. Is he was supposed to bring this to the world and let everybody know and announce it when it happened. So I'm going to put the link in the description below for you guys to read this. I'm just kind of putting a timeline as to things that have been happening. So move forward to three weeks ago or something when we were talking about the red heifers that had arrived in Israel, and that they were the red heifers that were going to be used for sacrifice in the third temple when the sacrifices begin again. We told you about that. Then just recently, while I was on vacation, I was aware of, let me pull it up. The Levite is the Levitical priests. The Levitical priests are the ones that are going to be performing the rituals in this third temple. And they are already being trained. Third Temple School trains Jewish priests for service. The Nezar HaKadosh Institute is teaching Jewish priests to perform temple services for the Third Temple, which will hopefully soon be rebuilt in the holy city of Jerusalem. The science is moving this epic event forward. In the science of archaeology continues to uncover coins, seals, jugs, arrows, and writings confirming a Jewish presence in the Jerusalem during the First and Second Temple periods. So too, generic archaeologists are uncovering a continual line of priests beginning 3,300 years ago with the first high priest, Aaron. So they're moving forward. They're putting forth a timeline to legitimize this third temple, which we know no matter what they do, they can't legitimize it. Temple services of the Levites. The duty of the Levites was to help Aaron's descendants in the service of the temple of the Lord, to be in charge of the courtyards, the side rooms, the purification of all sacred things, and the performance of other duties at the house of God. And it's in 1 Chronicles 23:28. It's amazing how they are twisting scripture, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, we've seen this coming. I explained to you before we went live that this stuff is prophesied thousands of years ago. So we should not be surprised at the timing of everything. I mean, we're experiencing the birth pains. We're on the verge of World War III.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking for someone to stop this disaster from occurring.
Exactly.
What do you know?
Exactly right.
Perfect timing for him to pop up.
Yeah. And I when Ernie came in, he's like, "How are you doing?" I said, "I'm a little upset right now." And I was reading this article. Check this out, guys. 24 divisions of the priests that prepared the way for the coming of Jesus Christ. I don't even have anything to say about this. My heart is actually heavy because I know how many people are going to fall for this. I know how many people are going to believe that this Messiah that is coming on scene is the real Messiah. And what's sad is many Christians are going to fall for this as well.
It is. And we talked a little bit about it last night, about the hearts of men will grow cold. And when your heart grows cold, that makes you vulnerable. And that vulnerability is going to allow the false Messiah to infiltrate the hearts of those people and cause them to turn their backs against the people who are the chosen people of the Most High.
Right. Exactly. So, okay, so we painted the picture. We've got the rabbi saying that the Messiah is being, that he's in contact with the Messiah, that he's going to be coming on scene pretty soon. We've got the red heifers that are coming to Israel to prepare for the sacrificial rituals. We've got the third temple. We know that the altar is already being built. We showed you guys a video on the last time we talked about this, showing you that they are already performing rituals on the altar. The altar is already done, and I from what I understand, the entire temple does not need to be completed for all of this to take place. They just need the altar, and they needed the red heifers. So we've got that. And so now fast forwarding to today, we talked briefly last night about who the Whore of Babylon was. And did we come to the conclusion who it was? Did we say it was New York?
Well, John referenced the W of Babylon to a specific person who's currently living that is tied to a city, which is New York City.
Right.
But one thing I wanted to bring up when you're talking about, the ritualistic sacrifices at the altar. Now, as we know in the Old Testament, they were performing sacrifices on the Ark of the Covenant.
Right.
So we have to ask ourselves, what does that relic have in terms of significance in these times right now? Have they actually recovered it? And are they going to be using that?
Here's something that you just piqued my memory. Okay, so I watched, and I'm not sure it had to be on TV because I believe it was either on the History Channel or one of those channels, and they were talking. A gentleman was taken underneath the Dome of the Rock, and I guess there are tunnels underneath there, and supposedly that is where the Ark was, or parts of the Ark was hidden. I don't know, but I guess they did recover some things down there, but they were really vague on what it was. So I mean, look at, you know what, Ernie? We talked about the Vatican last night. We talked about the Smithsonian Institute. We've got those people. The Knights Templar. The descendants of the Knights Templar, and we know what they did. They scoured the world for these relics and artifacts and took them back to the Vatican. Yes. And so, we've got to believe that there are still these Knights Templar, people out there that are scouring the earth. There's very little, I believe, and this is my opinion, I believe there's very little that they have not uncovered so far, because that's now in the Vatican and in the Smithsonian.
Right. And who knows what they have down there. Shauna really had a good point. We're supposed to have a meteor shower tonight.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
200 falling stars an hour. Interesting choice of words, Shauna.
Is that 1/3? Was that 1/3? 200? Wasn't it 1/3? Huh, interesting. Just a thought. I don't know.
I mean.
Wow. All right. So moving forward to today. Now, New York City has come up a lot in the news. We had the New York putting out their public service announcement telling you what to do in case of a nuclear event. We also had them, putting out, bug out bags. And I believe just recently they started giving out iodine tablets to people in New York City. So all these things are just, kind of adding up. And now there we fast forward to today. And I did verify this, and I will show you the verification of it. Those Messiah is here signs popping up in New York. Here's who is behind them. So it says, almost every night for the past few months, a nondescript crew of yeshiva bochurs has fanned out across New York City, armed with nothing more than MetroCards and buckets to stand on. The following morning, a familiar vestige of Rabbi Schneerson, the seventh anybody want to come up here and do Hebrew for me?
Lubavitcher?
Huh?
It looks like Lubavitcher.
Thank you. Peers out at harried commuters from bright green signs hung in a few new places, usually on the back of pedestrian walk signs. Below the picture of the man turned myth known to many simply as the Rebbe, the sign proclaims in no uncertain terms and without qualification, Messiah is here. And that is all around New York City. And let me pull up let me get it real quick. Let me take this down, and I'm going to show you that I Googled New York's signs in New York that the Messiah is here. We push on images, and quite a few of them come up. Here's one here. There's one there. Here. All kinds of them. All over the city. There's the one I used for the thumbnail. Interesting. What do you make of this? Do you think that we are that close to the unveiling of the Antichrist?
Do I think? No. Do I know? Yes. All signs is pointing to his arrival right now. So, as I mentioned
think
earlier,
it's going to take one earth-changing event, some catastrophe, some event that's going to be so catastrophic that he's going to be able to step onto the world platform and I'm using air quotes here, save the world.
Remember, Mr. Kaiser, who we interviewed a while back, mentioned that he's already in talks with people from the UN.
Yes, that's right.
So it lines up perfectly with the signs going up around New York City. It's a conditioning agent for everybody to look out for him in his arrival.
Ernie, watching, keeping watch for this false Messiah, to me, is a distraction, keeping people from watching for the return of the real one. You know what I mean?
Well, according to the Jays, yes. I mean, that's who they're looking for. I mean, those who know and follow biblical scripture should not be swayed by what they see here right now.
Right.
I mean, they said that in scripture that their Messiah can deceive even the elect.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's going to be doing miracles and wonders and signs and wonders and all these things that are going to fool people. And that's why my heart is so heavy, because I know that so many people right now are looking for a savior and not seeking out the Messiah, the Yeshua HaMashiach. They're looking for, it's almost like they're looking for an easy fix. They're looking for a president or an organization or something that's going to save us.
Right. And remember the infamous quote from the Yes We Can man who said, "We're not looking for a Messiah."
Right.
Why did he say that?
Right.
Probably because he's already here.
Oh boy. Well, this is something that, it goes along with the things that we're putting out for you guys to follow along with. I'm going to put all the links in the description below for you to follow, for you to use for your own research. Time is so short, and I just, when I was on vacation, I had a lot of people messaging me. One in particular, my friend Julie, and she messaged me, and she's like, "I just feel like something's so heavy. I feel something." And I said, "You're not the only one." I said, we're all feeling that something is coming. I keep seeing, which I can't tell if it's a distraction or if we really should be, worrying. I'm not going to say worry, because we don't fear anything, but if we should be concerned about the things that are happening over the Ukraine. We keep getting this push, nuclear. And in my head, I'm playing out the scenario going, that would be the perfect thing, the perfect earth-changing or earth-altering event they would need to bring in these aliens or to bring in this false Messiah to save us. So, I mean, I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
You ever thought that a nuclear bomb could be what the Bible describes as wormwood?
I have thought of that because Chernobyl is supposedly translates into wormwood too. So, and that's nuclear. That's radioactive. So, yeah, I mean, and they have the technology to keep it as a, how do I want to say this? We have mutually assured destruction, which means that, if Russia were to set off one missile, two missiles, or whatever, the United States we're going to retaliate with everything we got, because the last thing you want to be is be stuck with everything on the ground and not be able to get your missiles up. So it's called mutually assured destruction. It kind of keeps everything in the status quo. It kind of keeps people from pushing that button out of anger or out of frustration or whatever, because they realize that, it's only going to take one to pretty much annihilate the planet. But then again, if the leaders of this world are all in that big club that we're not in, and they are all working on the same side of bringing in the new world order, then we're not going to see a full-scale nuclear event. We're going to see something that is probably confined to an area, maybe the Ukraine, I don't know, that area, China, Japan.
Right. With China, how they launched the artificial sun. Now that's now correct me if I'm wrong, that's built off of nuclear fusion technology. And the fact of the matter is, it I think was 10 times hotter than the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to pull that up because that just happened. China.
A lot of people are overlooking that and the significance of that.
Yes. Right here, China's. Share it. China's sun. China's artificial sun just broke a record for longest sustained nuclear fusion. So yes, it is nuclear. So I mean, it reached 126 million degrees Fahrenheit for 17 minutes. Oh.
Just imagine the climate change, quote unquote, that something like that can cause. I'm pretty sure they already did that.
If they got that, if they've got this technology, who knows what else technology they have? I mean, to be real. All right. So, we're looking at things like this, and, this could possibly, bring in, we've got the rods of God technology. We've got the earthquake machines. We've got everything. We've got all of the technology out there to simulate a nuclear event. It doesn't really have to be a nuclear event, but Poland, Russia, the United States are all buying up iodine tablets right now. They started about a month ago.
Yes. So if they're getting some, you guys need to get some too.
Right, exactly. And I put up a post, I believe, I don't even know when it was, a couple weeks ago, warning people not to use the government pills, because there's a thing out there saying that they're not even real, they're not even potent. So get your own and make sure you've got your own stock of it, because you don't want to take what they're giving you. So I don't know, but
interesting times we're living in, and it's getting even closer to being the climax of things.
Exactly. So, all right, I'm going to put all the links, like I said, in the description below for you guys. You can take a look at it. Well, maybe this catastrophe you're speaking of. Oh, wait a minute. What's Kim got to say? Kim. Well, maybe this the catastrophe you're speaking of is what HARP is doing right now until October 13 frequency experiments. I was not aware of that, Carla or Kim. Where is that? Hold on a minute.
Is it just one of the harps, or is it multiple locations?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Is it just one harp platform, or is this a system-wide harp? Okay, harp October 19th.
Wow, we all that, and we're worrying about a new strain of the thing we're not supposed to talk about being developed in a college.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? I saw that. It was absolutely. That's in Alaska.
Okay.
I'm pulling it up right now. October 19th through 28th. Let me pull it up on the screen. HARP research campaign has been scheduled October 19th through 28th, 2022. Times, frequency, and modes are variable due to the constantly changing nature of the ionosphere. Let me see. More information is available here. Let's click on that. HARP to begin largest set of experiments at its new observatory, bouncing a signal off the moon. Learning more about the mysterious polar light, sending a beam to Jupiter. Those are just some of the 13 experiments for a packed 10 days of science beginning Wednesday of the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, which is HARP. University
Well,
of
they
Alaska.
just dropped a bomb in that.
Huh?
They just dropped a bomb in that confirms what we have been talking about for a long time about the Earth and the biblical cosmology. What did it say about bouncing off the moon? Polar light.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yep. You said they have to tell us everything that they're doing before they do it.
They do. 10 days of operation includes researchers and others from the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Hello, Mr. Parsons. Naval Research Laboratory, Cornell University, University of California, Berkeley, Canadian Council of the Arts, Johns Hopkins, Applied Physical Laboratory, Virginia Tech, Los Alamos National Laboratory, and Aerospace Corporation. Wow. I don't think they're. What?
Yep.
No, this has nothing to do with HARP and the ionosphere.
Don't be surprised they're aiming at a certain place that the United States doesn't like right now.
Wow. Experiment will send a beam to Jupiter and bounce off the giant planet's ionosphere with the hope that it will be received at the New Mexico site. Jupiter is currently about 374 million miles from Earth. Experiment will stretch the transmitting ability of HARP, which can produce up to 3.6 megawatts of power to the fullest. It will also test the receiving ability of the New Mexico site, which consists of 512 antennas. Wow. Interesting. Thank you for that information, Kim. Wow. I was unaware of that. There's more to keep an eye on.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but what are we keeping our eyes off of?
Exactly. And this is something that, it's hard to keep track of. There's so much going on. You don't know what you're supposed to be looking at. It's this giant shell game they play. Watch over here because we don't want you to watch over there. And that's why I'm glad we've got so many people in our research group that, we have enough eyes that we can keep an eye pretty much on everything.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. So, all right, guys. That's all we've got for you tonight or today. As you know, last night we had the privilege of being the first people to welcome for an interview Big John over from TikTok. He's going to be back with us next Wednesday. I can't wait. We're going to be talking more about the United States, the underground, the dumbs. And he even said we're going to be bringing up Mr. Phil Schneider. Interesting topic.
Yes, I can't wait for that. I mean, last night was
amazing.
Great.
It was. I sent him the link to iPet Goat for him to watch. And I also sent him the link to last night's show. And he wanted to, let me just read. He said he wanted to thank everybody. Hold on a second. He said, because I told him, I said, thank you. It was a great conversation. He goes, you're very welcome. Best time. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to next Wednesday. So, yes. If you did not catch that show, you might want to. It was the one last night. And it has Big John's name in the title. And his link to his social media is underneath that as well. So, all right. Anything else we've got, Ernie?
I believe we have a show tonight. Am I correct?
Probably. This will probably be the show for tonight.
Okay.
I don't know if I have it in me to do two. I am still fighting this. I have this congestion, this chest something. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to take some more not pain pills.
Here's what you do.
Cold pills.
Get a vacuum cleaner. Get the attachment for the vacuum cleaner. Shove it up your nose and have it suck all the mucus.
Look, at this point, I'm about ready to do anything. Let me tell you.
Don't do that, anyone. Don't do that.
I do want to tell. Oh, so I got to tell you guys something. Oh my gosh, I got to share this with you. This was you want to talk about instant verification or instant from the Most High. So, and I'm going to have to kind of talk in code here. So Dave and I were on the road between almost to Shreveport, and in that area, the B-52s fly out of Barksdale, the base there, and so we always have a bet. Whoever sees the first B-52 gets a prize, and so we were kind of paying attention to that. When I went on my phone, I was looking through it, and the almost $1 billion award going to the sandbox people from AJ was announced. And I had said to Dave, I said, I'm thinking this isn't even real. Nobody gets awarded $1 billion. I mean, really. I think it's to deter people like us from even mentioning it ever again, because I don't have $1 billion to pay out. I know nobody else does, so I'm just never gonna mention it again at this point. So they've won. They pretty much won. So we were talking, and Dave says to me, I'm going to have to look into Sandbox a little bit more. Now, Sandbox is our code word for what you guys know. He goes, I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more. He's like, he goes, I know you have a lot of information on it. He goes, now, just as we're talking about this is no lie, guys. We're stopped at a red light. Coming right in front of us is a Halliburton truck carrying 2 containers that both say Sandbox.
What?
I swear to God. Halliburton right in front of us. Dave and I looked at each other and we're like, that did not just happen. And he's like, it did. And let me just pull up images, because I tried to get, here it is right here. Okay, so let me download a save image. Let me pull it up real quick and put it up on the screen for you. This is the exact, well, not the exact. The truck we had 2 of these boxes on it. This one only has 1. Oops, give me a second. Downloads. Sand. Okay. Let me go back up here. Let me pull it real quick. Yeah, it was unbelievable. That's okay, here we go. Oh, like I said, as we're talking, this pulls out in front of us, making the turn. There's 2 boxes, not just one on the back of this truck. It's a Halliburton truck with 2 boxes that says Sandbox on them. Talk about instant validation from the Most High.
There's no coincidences.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No. And then, you guys know that, I mean, I was on vacation, but last Tuesday night, so a week ago Tuesday, we flew out of Oregon and we flew home. We get to Chicago airport and they lost Dave's bag. And it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. We had already ridden on the worst airline in the world. It was Spirit Airline. Don't ever book on Spirit Airline. So he puts in a report, tells him that, his luggage is lost. We come home at 7 a.m. We go to bed. The doorbell rings like 2 p.m. and they found it. Thank goodness they brought it in. And we left to go down to to Louisiana for a funeral. Our Uncle Donnie passed away. He was a Vietnam vet. He died of Alzheimer's, and the service was amazing. So we're in the funeral home, and Dave looks at me and he said, "Who's that guy over on the wall, standing against the wall?" And I looked, and it looked just like Uncle Donnie. And wearing the same shirt, the same pants as he would wear, the same facial hair, white beard, same build, same weight, everything, standing up against the wall. And people are just walking by him. He's not interacting with anybody, nothing at all. And I said, "I don't know who that is." And so we went to turn to get the attention of Donnie's daughter, our cousin Kim. And when we turned back around, he was gone. And so we're like, okay, well, maybe this person will be at the celebration of life that we're going to have after at Donnie's house. The guy never showed up. So I just thought that was really weird too. This guy looked just like him.
Maybe he has a twin.
No, we looked at pictures of people as cousins and stuff. We couldn't find it. It was just weird. There's a video floating around saying the United States Army was told to prepare for China. Well, we've been told, guys, China's been on our soil for years and years and years and years. If they were going to invade us, we would.
They got police stations in New York.
Right. You think about it. Was it 2013, 14, 15, one of those years, we invited China to come on boots on the ground in Hawaii. And so, a lot of people in Hawaii said that, they never left. They're still over there. They still, are on the shores. So I don't know. All right, guys. So yeah, we probably won't be back tonight, only because I'm going to take some cold medicine and I'm going to go to sleep. But we will be back on Sunday. Regularly scheduled shows starting on Sunday. Again. So I think I should be.
Yes, you came at an opportune time too, because things started to clear up in personal life. So now I can do some research.
Exactly. And our thoughts and our prayers have been with you and your family for this last however month it's been. It's been rough for all of us. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Satan has really started attacking us believers on all fronts. Whether it's your personal life, your family life, your relationships, your friendships, your social media, it's coming on all directions. And the thing about it is if you're aware of it, you can kind of deal with it and pray it away, you might say. And but yeah, he's been pretty busy on so many of us.
Yeah, you're saying the hours are short. His time is shorter.
Oh yeah, and he knows it.
Yep.
He knows it. So stay vigilant, guys. Prepare, get in the Word, read your Bible, put your houses in order, and of all things, remember just to know that we have hope beyond the grave. That's what keeps me going.
Storms may come at night, but joy comes in the morning.
Amen to that. So, all right. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. I want to thank our moderators as always. And we will be back on Sunday night, regularly scheduled time. Ernie, take us out.
And what we talked about tonight, yeah, it can dissuade us, it can discourage us, it can make us be depressed. And for some of us, it can even install fear. But the fact of the matter is, fear is not of God. Fear is of the enemy. That's where the devil wants us to be, in a state of fear. Right. So with that said, remember, eyes open, no fear. Have a good evening, guys.